Syria and Russia denounced that Western powers are preventing the return of Syrian refugees to their homeland at the closing of the 5th joint Syrian-Russian meeting. Our correspondent Hisham Wanous has more.
The Syrian-Russian ministerial coordination bodies assured at the end of this 5th joint meeting that both allied countries spared no efforts to ensure the return of Syrian refugees and displaced people to their homes, an effort they claimed made possible the return of nearly 6 million Syrians since the establishment of the joint Syrian-Russian Commission in 2018 to date. However, they condemned that this figure could be higher had it not been for the refusal of Western host countries, which politicized the refugee dossier in the service of their anti-Syrian agenda.
We work to ensure identified return of all Syrian refugees and displaced persons to their homes, which is why we call on the world community to put pressure on Western countries to stop the politicization of this issue, put an end to the occupation and the plundering of our resources, lift sanctions, and allow the reconstruction of our country in order to advance the process of the return of refugees.
Several Syrian-Russian ministerial meetings marked the working agenda of this meeting, during which various cooperation agreements were signed in sectors such as electricity, communications, water resources, oil, education, scientific research, and culture of vital importance for the recovery and reconstruction of Syria. A photographic exhibition documenting the destruction suffered at the hands of the neo-Nazis and the terrorists at several Russian and Syrian worship sites was also organized to demonstrate that extremism is a threat that affects humanity. We must act together to eradicate it.
These bilateral meetings of the ministerial coordination bodies are customary at every joint Syrian-Russian meeting on the return of refugees, and always result in the signing of cooperation agreements in many areas in order to improve the situation in Syria and create a suitable environment for the return of refugees. This exhibition is part of the cultural cooperation which we promote as part of the strategic alliance between the two countries, and it sheds light on the Russian places of worship destroyed by the Ukrainian Nazi army and the Syrian convents destroyed by armed extremists, and this shows the importance of our alliance because we have a common enemy and a common destiny.
During the 4 days of the meeting, the authorities in Moscow distributed several batches of humanitarian aid in the different Syrian provinces, a contribution that Damascus and Moscow consider essential to counteract the effects of the blockade imposed by the same Western states that accuse the Syrian government of not providing adequate conditions for the return of the refugees.
And with that